at one of the most prestigious international forums of the decade, a gathering where world leaders, Nobel laureates, artists, and activists assembled under one roof. The atmosphere was thick with expectation. The grand hall shimmered with golden lights reflecting off crystal chandeliers, while cameras lined the aisles, ready to capture every second of the night. It was an evening meant to celebrate human achievement, cultural exchange, and global solidarity. Yet what unfolded went far beyond the program. It became a story destined to be remembered for generations. Among the notable guests was Leonardo DiCaprio, a man whose face was recognized in every corner of the globe. Though most knew him as one of Hollywood's greatest actors, many also admired his decades-long commitment to environmental justice. For years, DiCaprio had traveled to remote corners of the earth, speaking about climate change, protecting forests, and giving a voice to the voiceless. That night, he arrived quietly, avoiding the spotlight, perhaps expecting nothing more than polite recognition. As the evening progressed, one dignitary after another delivered carefully prepared speeches. Applause rose and fell rhythmically, but something in the air suggested that the night was waiting for a moment of true authenticity. That moment came when the host announced the entrance of President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. At only 36 years old, Traoré was not just another leader. He had become the face of a new Africa, bold, unafraid, and determined to defend dignity on the world stage. His rise to power had captured international headlines. But what truly set him apart was his rare ability to speak with sincerity that resonated far beyond politics. As Traoré walked to the podium, the hall fell into an almost sacred silence. His uniform, simple yet dignified, contrasted with the tailored suits and glittering gowns around him. He adjusted the microphone and let his eyes sweep across the audience before settling on one person, Leonardo DiCaprio. His first words surprised everyone. "Tonight, I will not give the speech I prepared. Tonight, I speak from the heart." The hall grew stiller. Traoré's voice was calm, yet it carried the weight of conviction. "In this room, we celebrate progress, innovation, and power. But there is another kind of power, the power to care for what does not have a voice. Too often, we forget that leadership is not measured in riches or armies, but in compassion. Tonight, I wish to honor someone who has shown this truth to the world." He turned fully toward DiCaprio. "Leonardo, you are known as an actor. But in Africa, in the villages of Burkina Faso, people know you differently. They know you as the man who spoke for the rivers when others polluted them. They know you as the man who stood for forests while others cut them down. They know you as the man who told the world that the earth, our common home, must be protected. For this, we call you not a star, but a brother." The audience gasped softly. Leonardo blinked rapidly, his lips parting as if searching for words. Traoré pressed on. "When leaders were silent, you spoke. When many turned away, you stood. And you did not speak for wealth or applause. You spoke for the future, for children who will live long after we are gone. On behalf of Africa, I say to you tonight, thank you. You are not simply a guest here, you are family." At that moment, the weight of the words sank into the hall. Even those who had come with cynicism felt their hearts moved. Leonardo's eyes filled with tears, and he bowed his head. His hand pressed firmly against his chest. For decades, he had received awards, trophies, and standing ovations, but never had he been honored in such a raw, human way. This was not about Hollywood. This was about truth. The silence was broken by applause, soft at first, then rising into a thunderous ovation. People stood, some with tears of their own, clapping not only for Traoré's words but for the authenticity of the moment. The cameras flashed furiously, but even the finest photograph could not capture the trembling in Leonardo's shoulders as he wiped his face. Slowly, he rose to his feet. His voice, when it finally came, was unsteady yet powerful. "Mr. President, I have received many honors in my lifetime. Awards, statues, ceremonies. But never have I felt so deeply seen, so profoundly touched, as I do right now. Your words remind me why we fight. We fight not for fame, not for recognition, but for life itself. For the earth, for humanity, for the dignity of every child who will inherit this planet." The hall erupted again, but Traoré did not wait for applause. He stepped down from the podium, walked directly to Leonardo, and embraced him tightly. Two men, one from Hollywood, one from the heart of Africa, stood, locked in a moment that symbolized a new kind of alliance, not of politics or contracts, but of humanity. The video spread across the globe within hours. Clips of Leonardo breaking down and Traoré's heartfelt tribute dominated Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Hashtags like #TraoréNasLeo, #TrueLeadership, and #BrotherhoodBeyondBorders trended for days. Commentators on every continent offered interpretations. Some saw it as a meeting of art and politics, others as a symbol of Africa rising with dignity. Many simply saw it as proof that sincerity still has power in a cynical world. Journalists describe it as the embrace that silenced 1,000 speeches. Editorials praised Traoré for redefining leadership, not as dominance, but as respect. Others admired Leonardo's vulnerability, noting how his tears reflected not weakness, but strength, the strength to be moved, to feel, to honor. In African households, the moment was replayed endlessly. Parents told children, "This is what leadership looks like." In Hollywood circles, actors whispered about how the most powerful recognition often comes not from an academy, but from an unexpected voice across the world. Environmental groups used the viral clip to rally support, calling it evidence that the fight for the planet connects every human being, regardless of origin. For weeks, the world could not stop talking. Late-night shows replayed it, scholars analyzed it, and millions shared it online with captions like, "This is the kind of world we want." The encounter became more than a story. It became a movement, a reminder that compassion is universal and respect knows no borders. As the memory of the event settled into history, one image remained vivid: Leonardo DiCaprio, tears streaming down his face, embraced by a young African leader who dared to honor him not for fame, but for humanity. It was not scripted, not rehearsed. It was truth. And truth, when spoken with dignity, has the power to change the world.